So here's a key for the first of the choice questions. Question number one is supposed to be pretty easy. All that you're doing is calculating the internal rate of return here. So if you look up at asset A, which has a cost of 21 in time period 0, and then get you this benefit in 30 in time period 4, all that you're doing is finding the interest rate that makes the present worth 0. So what you're doing is, again, taking that 30, which is right there, dividing it by its initial cost, with a negative sign put in there, raised to the quarter power, drop off the 1, and you should see down here at the bottom that you're looking at an internal rate of return that's about 9.3%. Now, that'll be important to us later when we're going to be on question 4, when we raise the interest rate and use the internal rate of return criteria for exclusive choice, but right now all we need is this relatively simple calculation. The next question is that at a minimum acceptable rate of return of 10% requirement to provide 12 years of service, which asset would you choose? This is set up so that you can use the annual worth criteria, the repeated purchases. This requirement of 12 years is what you should be looking at as the important part. And again, we're in that special case where all the lives of the assets, 4, 4, 3, and 1, are factors of this planning horizon we're looking at here, 12 years. So to calculate the annual worth, you got to take the present worth, which are already calculated for you, and then just go ahead and find, looking for A, giving P, where the N is just going to be the lives of each asset. So if you do this for asset A, what you find is that asset A, which has a present worth of negative 0.51, has an annual worth of negative 1.6. So that's not going to be the best one in the world. Asset B, when it has a present worth of 1.29 and has a life of 4, you'll find that it has a annual worth, slightly incorrect, let's fix that. Find that that has a annual worth of 0.4. So this is the best so far as B. Asset C has an annual worth of 1, which has turned out to be the best right now. And asset D has an annual worth of 1.49. Well, that ends up being the highest of the annual worths. And so you know that asset D is the one over that 12-year horizon, using that technique of buying one, letting it go ahead and burn out, getting another one. Question number 3 is supposed to be relatively simple. It says if there are no service requirements. Well, this sets you up to be in the present worth criteria, so you just pick the biggest one. And so you can see that asset C has the largest present worth, so that's the right answer. Now the final question is, at a minimum acceptable rate of return of 20%, no service requirement, which would you choose? Here's where we're on to the exclusive choice internal rate of return criteria. So your first thing you're supposed to do is start ordering these from lowest initial investment to highest. So you're starting with asset C, then B, then A, then D, and then you eliminate all assets that have internal rates of return that are less than 20. Well, so far we know that D's gone and B's gone, and then what you see is that, well, A's also gone too. So the asset you could possibly choose is asset C, so clearly that has to be the best. That should clear. Again, number 1 of the choice questions for winter 2011.